from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today I'm very pleased joining me from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mohammad Bahareth. Mohammad, thank you very much for being with me here today. It's an honor and pleasure to have you. So the first thing I like to do it, so you are like very well known here in the region, in Saudi Arabia and across all the Gulf countries and the MENA region. But just for the audience, tell us a little bit more about yourself, your journey, and then we can take it up from there.
Okay, Mohammed, the pleasure is mine for being on your show. And I would like to introduce myself as a dyslexic person and also a person who has ADHD. Overcoming those challenges has been very difficult, and finding my place in life was a journey that I am very proud of. Uh, the first experience that I had in life was working in a hotel with my dad, and it was a very joyful experience. Yeah, and I learned a lot from working in my early days. Then I moved on to many ventures, to uh, many workplaces, and I have learned um, from each place, because I keep jumping from category to category, from hospitality to PR, and then ending up in entrepreneurship. So I learned a lot across the years, and I call myself, uh, a person who likes to learn. The fire inside each of us for education, for learning, for curiosity never ends. So this is the passion that I would like to give all of your viewers and everybody who deals with me and works with me. Obviously, some people know me and some people don't. So I would like to introduce myself as a business consultant. And last year, I won the Business Consultant of the Year award. And I am very happy that I won it. And there are a lot of my peers also uh, that won this award in the last few years. And I didn't expect winning it. So I'm very happy about that. And I appreciate the people who nominated me and who voted for me for this award. And I'm very delighted to be here with you today.
The pleasure is mine, Muhammad, and congratulations on that award. Uh, you know, it's something which I started to see as maybe I like to spot patterns. Let me call it this way. So you mentioned about dyslexia and the things. But I had a lot of guests, but all of them they are like yourself, who have this fire in them, eager to learn. And the nice thing is they also, like yourself, Muhammad, they like to pass this to the next generation. And maybe people they don't know, the former CEO of Cisco, he had also, like, he had dyslexia, and he is a known like successful CEO for one of the major companies. Now, you said, Muhammad, you jumped from one thing to another, and this is the, I think, sometimes the path for every entrepreneur, right? Because they
Yes.
need to find their true passion. And I am big believer in the passion and purpose, and what you want to achieve. So for you, like, when you started to spot, like, okay, I want to settle on this path of being in entrepreneurship, right? And being, a business consultant and helping other people, what was the motive? What was, like, the thing that you said, yes, this is this is exactly the thing that I want to pursue, and I want to move forward with it, to choose this path. Can you share this with us, please?
It's actually the answer is very funny. Okay, I was trying to find my career path when I was young, trying to explore different opportunities. Okay, and some of the people at human resources don't like people who jumped from one job to another, from one field to another. But in fact, when I look for entrepreneurs, I look for these qualities, for the curiosity to find out what is there. So when I finally found out what I was good at public relations. So when I started working in public relations, I discovered that I have a knack for it, and it's very natural for me, and the effort is not as much as working in any other field. So when I started, I found out that I was not just doing PR, I was helping people and enabling them with information, with knowledge, starting from technology and maintenance. I'm a huge tech geek. I'm the first guy in Saudi Arabia who got the Google glasses, by the way, and I also tried to make a Qibla app for it. And I have the Apple Vision Pro, everything that is new in technology, I have it. So people are always asking me questions. Muhammad, how did you do this? Muhammad, how did you do that? Muhammad, I would like to open a company. Muhammad, I would like to start this, and I would like you to review the structure of my company. How about you take a look at this? So I started as questions from people in my field of PR. And then I started to see, what should I do to make this better? Can I do it to help entrepreneurs? The responsibility is great. I have to study for it. I have to take courses. I have to know what is special about me to give them. Okay, my dyslexic way of thinking is something adding to the equation and adding to the value, but the fundamentals, for me, it was very difficult. And we started, back at 2006, when the how would you say, it was not, the market was not ready for startups. But the most important thing is you give them the fundamentals, such as the business model. The people were focused on other ways of calculating revenue that are very, how would you say, would cause losses for a company. So when I started to do this, there was no map, there was no structure, there was nothing. I started to do it, just from my heart. And when I did it, I discovered that this is my passion. As a business consultant, I can give them my perspective. I can give them the accumulated experience that I have in the 1 hour or 2 hours that they stay with me. I can guide them to avoid the mistakes that most of the people before them did. And also, I went through the same mistakes as before. How to get updated in regulations. There are fields that needs to have, for example, before we didn't have uh, uh, any regulations for you know uh, like this Uber and Kareem, the call to order taxis and call to order cars, and then regulations came, and then how would you react, or how would you act if there is regulations, and if you are working and the regulations come, there are fines, there are violations, there are stuff on the way. How can you avoid them preemptively? So these are ideas that I couldn't do alone and couldn't deal with alone. So I teamed up with a few lawyers and a few legal experts, so we can help the businesses grow and avoid violations. And before the regulations come, they can talk with the regulators and tell them what they need and what can hinder them and what can disrupt their work. And the workflow just flowed afterwards, and it became something that we do every day.
That's fantastic, Muhammad. And I'm sure I can imagine, because you mentioned 2006, and at that time, like,
Yeah,
even the idea of starting up was like a dream, right? Like,
yeah,
even
yeah.
we used just to see it in books,
Shows
and
in books
yeah,
and in shows. Yeah, Actually, the first accelerator that I recall in Saudi Arabia was ACMAC, the Makkah accelerator from Al Qura University.
Yeah.
Mr. Osama Natto was the head of the accelerator, and he was like, the guiding father for me in the field. He's the guy who really honed my skills and told me there are people who do this. You focus on this. There are people who do that. You focus here. And he was, like a guiding father. Is the how would you say my entrepreneurial father, as you say.
Oh, fantastic. Because, to your point, in 2012 or 2011, I was telling someone, you know what, like, I think I can do a startup and, I will, do this and do this and I will have this and I will go after funds. As you was telling me, you're crazy. Like, you think yourself living in the Silicon Valley or where? I said, yeah, but you know what? Like, one day, this region, I mean, the whole region, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, all these countries here in GCC, they will become like this. They were laughing at me, but thanks God, I see this in my eyes today, so I can't be more happy, to be honest with you. Now, I know, Muhammad, like you have passion. Yeah, you want
I,
to say
wa-
something.
I want to tell you something. When I used to talk to businessmen, business moguls, and media moguls, I tell them I'm waiting to see the next unicorn. And then they were laughing at me. They think I was actually talking about a real unicorn. The term was unknown. They thought I was talking about a fantasy book or something.
Oh, yeah, because the first time, honestly, I heard the term. Like I said, what's a unicorn? And then I figured out, yeah, like a company that become,
A
$1
billion
billion
dollar. Yeah.
billion-dollar company. Now, Muhammad, I know also, part of what you have done over the years, right? So you came up because you kept mentioning the business model, right? So I
Yes.
know that you have developed a method you called
Yes.
Bahareth method and the
Yes.
goal model Canva. I'm very fan, of anything that we can structure it for, I would say, young entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs, so they can understand the thing. Because honestly speaking, maybe you'll agree or disagree, I don't know, but the way sometimes still we teach people in schools and colleges, it's not up to date, and we teach them like old concepts, and when they go out to life, they get you know stuck with many obstacles, and they could not understand how to overcome this. So tell me a little bit more about these methods and the Canva that you have developed.
See, the goal model canvas is inspired by the business model canvas. It's a way to structure your goal for uh, for the whole year, for each month of the year, and for every week of the year. So you have one main goal that you want to achieve this week, and you have four other goals that are sub goals, that are goals you want to achieve, but they're not as important as the first goal. And then you structure them with uh, the business flow or your workflow or your life flow. Okay. So, what you have structured, for example, this week I want to have a certificate, I want to learn this new skill, um, I want to learn this new language. So you start putting the goals, and then by the end of the year, you will find out if you have uh, the stamina enough and the persistence and the perseverance to go through it all. You will find out if you made 60% of your goals, you will be surprised of what you could achieve. So that's the basic method of the goal model canvas, is to help you understand what you can do. And also, I'm gonna launch in Arabic soon enough, like a notebook based on the goal model canvas, and later on we'll launch it in English, because the most important thing in life is achieving goals. And when you achieve goals, you have a sense of accomplishment, and you have a sense of being and giving back to the society and giving back and improving life on this earth by your accomplishments. Some people have small accomplishments, some people have big accomplishments. But remember, the people who made huge accomplishments started from the small ones. It all starts from focusing on one thing. So the goal model canvas helps people focus and structure their goals in the way they need it, in the way that they want it. Some people, when they start to explore their goals, they discover that the goal itself that they wrote is not the thing that they originally or they intended for to want. So they discover that it's something else, but it's underneath. So the goal model canvas helps people discover what they really want and focus on the real goal. For example, if a person wants to buy, for example, a new Tesla car, okay, why does he want to buy it? What are the reasons? What are the color of the car? How much is the car? When is he going to expect to buy it? And he can put all of the reasons, okay? But the real goal is he would like to have an electric car. He would like to have a status. He would like to have something else. The real goal is not the car. The real goal is the feeling behind the car. So we explore the feeling and we explore why this feeling is there and how important it is. And we use it as a motivation for all the other goals together. So we explore the goals and then we explore the feelings behind the goals. And when you remind yourself of what you want to feel when you have this, you will have it even faster.
Like you mentioned a couple of things which are like really, it's like I call them master class, right? Because goals are very important, and I have to yeah, confess something that me, like one of the mistakes that I was doing when I was younger is that I was underestimating the concept of goals, right? And most importantly, underestimating the power of setting mini goals or even sometimes micro goals, so I can track that I'm doing some success. Okay, but I was lucky enough like to cover this later and like get in shape, let's say, which I think, Muhammad, is very beneficial, not only in the business life, also like even on the personal side of life also as well. Like we can track, let's say, you set goal for losing weight, you set goal for, I don't know, read more books, exercise more. So
See,
this concept
uh,
changed for me.
about reading books, as a person who had almost 2 years just trying to read a book with dyslexia as a kid, reading books was very difficult for me, and I'm really, sometimes very disappointed with people who waste a lot of time buying books and putting them in shelves and not reading them. You wouldn't know how much benefit you get. And people always buy books from authors they like. You will never learn when you buy books from authors you like, or books that you like, or books that are popular. You should buy books that you really hate and dislike. So you have an understanding of people, so you can communicate better, so you can reach your goals better. If you can understand a person or on an idea that you hate, you can understand an idea that you love better and much better. And reading is something really, you know, imagine somebody that lived 1,000 years ago and now you're reading about them 600 years ago, 200 years ago, and you're reading what they wrote. Can you imagine that this is a book to the past? This is like time traveling. That you can go and find out things and history and technology and everything you can ever dream is in a book. And
Yeah,
it's much better than the internet. People actually go and they go and browse on AI and stuff like that. Books are the treasure that are in front of people and they don't realize it.
absolutely, absolutely. For me, of course, when I was kid, I was like a great book reader. I stopped, of course, after graduating from university because, again, and I'm very transparent in this, I thought, oh, I know it all now, so I don't need to read more books. The thing,
Yeah.
but exactly, I read it from one of the authors. He's famous, actually, Robin Sharma. So in one of his books, he mentioned that when you read a book, it's like as if you are having a conversation with the author. And then
Exactly.
I discovered the power, okay, let me try to read the books in the field that uh, are not in my area of expertise. So I'm an engineer, right? So I graduated as an engineer. And when I was younger, I was, no, I don't want to read finance. I don't want to read accounting. I don't want to read business. I don't want to read this and that. And then, exactly the same thing. The moment I start to immerse myself in this, of course, it was very hard at the beginning, you can imagine. And then after a while, I discovered, oh, now I'm able to understand many things in a better way because I can correlate things and I can, uh, understand things in a holistic approach rather than just, looking from one corner. So exactly,
Exactly.
Muhammad, on this one.
When
Now,
we started to
yeah, please.
work in hospitality, one of the great things about working in hotels, in the hospitality field, that they take you on a tour in every start entry level job. Okay, from laundry to maintenance. So you have an experience of everything around the hotel. So when a guest have a question or have a problem, you know where to go. So this gives any person who works in hospitality, they have a lot of skill sets from maintenance to laundry to food and beverages, many things. And this has helped me a lot in my life to realize that there are many fields because uh, younglings, okay, or the youth today don't know what are the options they have, don't know what are the fields they have. There are many fields, and every day we're hearing about a new field being created. Until now, there is something on my bucket list that I couldn't do. Okay, until today, because of dyslexia, my hand-eye coordination is not as how would you say, not as normal people do. So until today, I cannot ride a bicycle.
Oh,
I can ride a tricycle, but a bicycle, I cannot because of the hand-eye coordination problem.
yeah, yeah, of course, I can understand. And funny enough, I just fell on from my bike yesterday. Coincidence.
Salamat. God bless you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Now you mentioned about learning a lot and trying to using the internet and so on. So the internet actually created something which is, I would believe revolutionized the way, we all get the information.
Yes.
But I want to have your point of view on online learning, and let's call it now education tech, right, Mohammed? So first of all, like, how do you see this area evolving, and what are like the things that should be done and should not be done in that arena?
E-learning is something uh, very, 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 very astounding. And e-learning should have platforms that gather people with experiences so they can relay their experiences to the next generation, especially people who are just retired. They have a sum of experiences, and uh, the youth can learn a lot from them, from their experiences, from how they solved problems, what mistakes they did. So we can have an accumulation. If imagine if the youth today was enabled by the experiences of the retired people, okay, and they have the sum of their experience, the sum of their mistake, the accumulation of this initiative itself on the future generations, we will have a super accumulation of learning from mistakes, a super accumulation of experience, and a super accumulation of success. It is a formula for success. But the problem that we are facing today is that each country has its own regulations. For example, we in Saudi Arabia have a regulating body for what they call courses, dawrat. In Arabic, it's called dawrat. So if you want to give a dawra, you have to be a registered trainer from this governing body, the government body, and you have to have a registered because it's gonna have a difference when you give the person a certificate for attending. It's gonna have a difference on their pay. So you have to do, the structure and the systems and the benefits, and you have to follow a certain structure. But if you go through to seminars, muhadarat, as we call them in Arabic, or workshops, as we call them in Arabic, warash amal, uh, if you do it online, there is no regulations up to now to register them anywhere up to now, and people can do them freely without needing to have any kind of permit or certificate here in Saudi Arabia up to now. So this can help in moving forward, help us moving forward to get the experiences of people who retired, get the experiences of a well skilled person to the next generation. We need to have a transfer of knowledge, a transfer of experience, and we need to hand the torch to the next generation. Okay, every person has his own experience. For example, there is a guy who built an Iron Man suit. Okay, imagine if this guy who built an Iron Man suit gave, a lecture or a workshop about electronics, about the devices he used, the technologies that he used. You will have 50 or 100 new inventors in the market. You will add value to the market. The more inventors you have, you will add value to the market. And you can have, when you have more value, you have more innovation, and you have more, um, what's the word in English? You would have more, you would invest, you would invest in the time of the youth. So instead of the youth going around and reading books and going around and asking people and researching, you will give them what they need, and you will save them years of searching and experiences, and uh, finding out what is right and wrong in this field, how to do it, what is the regulations. For example, a guy has an intellectual property certificate. What can he do with it? This guy, I'm going to give you an example without saying names.
Sure.
This guy went to a company and told them, I want to license this. So he wanted to license it in general. I told him, no, 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 wait, license it only for commercial airplanes only, and license it to another company for passenger airplanes, license to another company for space, for rockets, you can license it for anything. Don't give it away in an instant, you know. And then once he told them that, they know that he was a professional. They gave him 5 times the initial offer. 5 times.
Wow.
Five
Wow.
5 times. So if you just know how to communicate, if you just know a little bit about uh, the experience itself, you can get a lot of leverage. You know, the this if example, he's getting like $10 million and now he's getting 50, it will make a huge difference in his life. It will make a huge difference in his output, in his giving, in his achievements as an inventor, as a intellectual property holder.
Absolutely. We are seeing, Muhammad, we are seeing a lot of initiatives, startups in the education specifically.
Yes.
Um, I have a theory. Okay, I'm seeing like nice things, but I'm not seeing enough um innovation in that area. Like, taking I'm big fan, by the way, of taking a business model that worked somewhere else and bringing, for example, to our region, to Saudi Arabia or to the UAE or Egypt. I'm big fan because Karim is a success story. You mentioned Karim and Uber, right? So it's a success story. But what I feel, and here maybe you can enlighten us, with all this technology adoption that we have done, and by the way, what you just described, Muhammad, is a real pain and problem. It's about
Yep.
like learning and finding the information which we wanted in a proper format. Why we are not getting this next generation of education technology, I would say, in our region, in your experience? Is it because the founders are going the easy route, or is it because they are not having the proper support maybe from investors and government bodies?
There are a few problems. Okay, the first problem I would like to address is the copy paste syndrome that we have.
Right.
We take something that works and we say, okay, let's do it in Arabic. Yalla, copy paste, make an Arabic name. That is the biggest problem that we have. Okay, you can change it a bit here and there. You can explore. You see, people underestimate the power of questionnaires. Okay, if you get 10 teachers and ask them questions, if you get 10 students and ask them questions, you will find out what they really want. Okay. And then you can build off of that and use the business model that works as a base and then work out from there. You have to have something unique. Okay. You cannot just say, oh, okay, I will just do a Kickstarter for school projects. Okay, I'll just do a copy of uh, what's the name of that site? For
Udemy,
education courses and
Udemy,
Udemy, LinkedIn Learn.
Coursera.
Yeah, Coursera. Just do a copy of them. Okay, they have the screen on the left. Let's do it on the right. Come on, man. What kind of innovation is this? Okay, and the other problem that we're having is investors do not have the knowledge base to know what is happening in the tech background. For example, when investors come to me and ask me about, I said, "Look, man, this is a cheap way of doing this. Okay, why are you using all of this open source? You make your own code. For example, if you're using this open source code and they made an update, you're screwed. You have to pay like 70,000 or 15,000 to fix this problem for an update. Your app will not work. Your service will stop. Come on. Okay, open source is good, but when people rely on it too much, you saw what happened with Microsoft. You saw what happened with Microsoft? Airplane stopped. Okay? Do your own thing, do your backup, and have your own data, have your own servers. Okay? Have a backup locally, have redundancy plans. Okay? Investors, they sometimes they just want the cheapest options. Okay, we want an MVP. Yalla, let's do it. Okay, an MVP is good. Okay, but an, an MVP should an MVP has a expiry date. You should throw it all out, and when you make the product, you make it in the right way. An MVP is just, a dummy. Okay. When Iron Man, okay, made his suit in the area that he was, okay, his first suit, he didn't stay with it. It was just a proof of concept. And then he made the real suit that he wants. Okay. And he threw the old one away. He kept it as a historical, in like his own home museum or something. So the basic thing is MVPs. You don't put an MVP for public. Nobody puts an MVP for public. You put an MVP to prove that this idea has a merit. This idea can be invested in, and this idea can be used. Okay, I have many people. I will give you an example.
Mhm.
Uh, Three good founders. They are very good founders, but they have. This is the third problem: bad chemistry with the founders, and also not researching the market enough. Okay, three founders, they don't have good chemistry with each other. Everybody wants to have control. Okay, there is
Mm.
tests, by the way. There is a company called CRG Leader in Canada. They have, like personality test. You can test your founders, and you can know what's this founder personality, how you can interact and work with him. It would make the work flow easier, knowing the responsibilities. The founders don't have like an ethics or a business model for them how to communicate with each other. What are the responsibilities? Everybody thinks they're owner of the company, they have the final say.
Mm.
So the egos kicks in. So this is the problem, because startups fail because the founders don't have chemistry. Okay. The third problem is that these three founders made an app that is so crazy. From the first day I saw it, I know it would be a unicorn, but it has to be in the right environment. Okay. This app takes it's B2B and it also has a B2C. It's two apps in one. Okay. With one permit. So it saves a lot of money. It's two apps. It saves a lot of operational costs. If you want to have a truck, move your home All of the companies are registered. Okay, all of the companies are registered, and you can click. Okay, I want somebody to move my stuff from my home. I want somebody to move stuff from this company to this company to the new branch. They name it, they number it, they label it, everything. All of the companies are there, but it's a difficult way to find them, and there is no structured marketplace that they are all in. They made the best marketplace, and they made everything, and they're all coming from different background of the logistical field. And after they did all of that, they had another idea how we can do it for consumers, and it was a brilliant idea. But they were just branching out what they can do without starting. And when they did it, you see, if you're, for example, at Extra or in Emirates, you have this Jumbo, I think they call it Jumbo or something like that, the electronic store.
Yes, yeah, Jumbo, yeah.
Yeah, we have in Saudi Arabia like Extra. So if you bought a TV and you want somebody, and you bought stuff, you want somebody to take it to your home.
Right,
Right,
right.
right now, they have companies to take it to your home right now. They're ready and to install and to do one with the service, and they have also insurance for moving the product to your home. It's insured. They have all of this ready. Okay, but you know what their biggest problems is? They didn't know who their initial client is. Their initial client are the company who does the service. What's in it for them? They're already having business. What's in it for them? What is the benefit for the company registering in your app? They forgot to give value to their vendors. This is the problem. They thought, okay, let's put them together and make people come. Okay, people came, the vendors are not there. They're not using the app, they're not opening it, they have operational problems because the vendors don't see the value. So
Mm.
I told them, instead of getting 100 vendors to sign a contract with you, start just with one. Okay, start with one, and make everybody want to come to you, instead of you just, okay, just sign contracts and it's ink on paper.
Like eye-opening, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you just mentioned also one thing about, the copy paste. I like to put my 2 cents, if you allow, Muhammad.
Okay.
I always tell people, because I meet a lot of people, they come with ideas and so on. I ask them, what is your competitive advantage? And I feel people get lost in this question. They said, yeah, we can do, for example, this faster. I tell them, no, no, no. I'm not asking you how you compare to the competition today. I ask you how long the competition needs to put work and effort till they can produce the same thing that you have today. And
You
then this
see,
is, you know,
I don't look at it that way. Okay, if you see anywhere in the world, okay, you see a barber, you see 10 barbers next to him. You see a tailor, you see 10 tailors next to him. You see a car repair shop, you see 10 car repair shops next to him. Okay, see, it's about a place of gathering. Your competitor is your biggest fan. They follow everything you do. And if you do something that works, when you see them copying you, you know that it works. Put more money in it, put more effort in it. Okay? Your competitor, if you don't have a competitor, you will not succeed. If I'm running alone, okay, I'm exercising alone and running alone, it will not
yeah,
be fun. If I'm having somebody competing with me, today he won. Tomorrow I'm gonna do more effort to win. Okay, we we didn't have personal computers reaching everybody in the world, because until Apple and Microsoft came head to head, and IBM came head to head, the hardware guys, the software guys came head to head with each other. Okay, Apple and Samsung with their mobile phones, Google and Apple, everybody's competing in some area. Without them competing, Apple wouldn't have reached what they reached today. Okay, well, Google wouldn't have reached what it reached with Android, Samsung, everybody. They wouldn't have reached. Competition is good. Competition is excellent for growth. But people, when they look at the competition as the enemy and we have to crush them, they're crushing their own selves. In fact, I would tell you something really funny.
yeah.
Nobody would believe that two of the biggest stores in Saudi Arabia, online stores in Saudi Arabia, okay? Two of the biggest online stores of Saudi Arabia, they decided to help each other with cybersecurity. They decided to help each other with, they said, okay, we will sign non-competition in these areas. Okay, you are for accessories for phones, we will give you the advantage. Okay, you give us the accessories for uh, computers and laptops and stuff like that. You don't make advertisement for 2 years in this, and you guys don't make advertisement. And then they combine their efforts secretly to make their platforms better, to learn from their experience. Their staff are learning from each other for, in logistics and stuff like that. It's very nice to see it. I hope one day that they are gonna share their collaboration publicly. But for now, I can't talk about who they are because of confidentiality and non-disclosure agreements. But it's really happy when you see competitors and big competitors working together. Okay, when you saw McDonald's and Burger King helping each other in some countries, they couldn't pay in 2020, back in 2020, when they couldn't pay their employees. So they put a sign, go to Burger King or go to McDonald's, something like go to Burger King because they need it, because people
Yeah,
are losing their jobs. You see, that's our competitor. That's makes you real happy when you see like that. When you go to the old souk here in Jeddah and you enter in the morning and you think you're the first guy who just walked in. He said, "No, I already sold. My neighbor did not sell. Go to him. He did not made his first sale today. Go to him." That is the true essence of a market. You believe that there are abundance. There is a huge abundance, but you have to look at it and change your perspective. The market, you can have everything you want, okay?
right.
But if you wish for your competitors uh, to prosper, you will prosper. It's just like a mirror.
Absolutely, 100%, Muhammad. And I like this. I think this is also coming from our culture, and like the way that our fathers and grandfathers, they raised us, about helping also people
Yes,
around you. So, but one thing regarding the way still the young generation, let's say, are looking at this establishing any kind of business. Sometimes they come to me and they say, why we choose this path? Because, when we go and talk, for example, to investors, they are understanding us. Because if we tell them, for example, I'm making a food delivery app, like I know, like in Saudi Arabia, the biggest one is the Hunger Station, and, there's the other ones. They said, okay, they are understanding. So they know Hunger Station, they can relate. But if we come, for example, and say we are doing like this new business, they are not understanding us, and this is why we have to kind of first start with this, and then we in the future we're gonna pivot in that, like.
is I would like to say something. You see, uh, this is being worked out now because many business families are leaving the new generation, their kids in charge now, and it's fixing itself eventually. Okay,
Mhm,
every problem that we have will be solved by the next generation. Okay, and the next generation and the next and the next and the next. So the investors who don't know about it, they're having their kids working with them. Their kids are learning the skills, or already they have the skills. They know what to do. So there are a few still that don't know about technology. They don't have the background. But first of all, if we have a place in every city, in every major city, okay, to
mhm.
give, like, for example, a coffee shop or a hotel that's giving, like this auditorium freely for people who have inventions, people who have startups, you know we call it the free pitch initiative. Okay, let them talk. When a person talks, okay, it's just like these guys, the Toastmasters. They're honing their skills. They're trying to have a better skill set for convincing another guy. Okay, you remember that guy who said, "Sell me this pen"?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just the same as that. It's a skill. You know how to sell your idea. For example, tech guys, are very difficult when they explain tech stuff to somebody who does not know. For example, like when you're hearing your doctor said, "Okay, your heart rate is like this, you're like that," and you're looking. You said, "Is that okay? Is that?" okay, or there is something wrong. What is this heart rate and what is this pressure and stuff? He said, you're okay, you're okay. You just need to take a few meds and halas. So imagine that somebody is just hearing, okay, we have the servers and we're gonna do this and we will have 50 staff and we're gonna do this and trainer and stuff like that. They don't understand. Okay, when Steve Jobs brings you the iPhone, he doesn't say, okay, the RAM is this and that is that. He said, we double the capacity so you can do this and that with it. Okay. He gives you why we doubled it and what is the value of doubling the RAM. Okay. We're going to do this because of these people. If you can explain the business model canvas, you don't need a crazy pitch. Okay. You just go to the investor. He said, imagine you are going to invest $1 million today. How much will it be within 10 years? Worst case scenario, it will be like this. Even worst case scenario, you can sell it to another investor that believes in our idea if you don't like it anymore. Okay? Do you want that? Okay. Do you like to invest in e-learning systems? Okay. Okay. Let's look at this. This is an e-learning system that changes, adapts with the person using AI, and we're using this AI, and we're using this, and we're using that, and it adapts. People with dyslexia, some of them they see jumping letters, some of them they see disappearing words, they see disappearing letters, they see letters going to each other. Letters in Arabic don't have the dots and the tashkil. Okay, this AI can adapt to all of that and can fix it. What is the benefit of enabling a person with dyslexia? How much will they pay? And if you have a son with this kind of problem, how much would you pay? Would you pay anything in your pocket to make your son better? Is this a good idea or not? Do you want to invest in it or not? He would be invested in it because he knows that it is a true problem and people would like to solve the problem. Okay? It is how much big of a problem, the problem, how much pain does it cause, and in the end, your solution. Will it fit the market or not? See, Steve Jobs, I will give you, Steve Jobs is a genius that nobody will understand maybe for the next 50 years or 100 years. Okay.
Agreed.
Steve Jobs, when he made, you remember the Mac, the colored one that you can carry, the big ones, the one in the
Yeah, yeah.
90s, okay, beginning of the 2000. So when he made it, he stopped the whole line. He stopped the whole line. Why? The box doesn't fit in the smallest car. He said, I want the guy to come and buy it and to take the box and to put it in the smallest trunk you have. I want the box. So they kept doing models and models of this filling and the fillings and the stuff like that in the boxes. He said, I want it to fit the smallest elevator. I want it to fit the smallest doors. Okay. So you have to know where is your client going to use it and how. Okay, I want to make an air condition. If the people that are going to carry the air condition and put it to your room, they cannot put it inside the room, then how you can going to install it? They have to open it outside and it's going to become a hassle. They said, okay, I wish I picked another brand. Okay, so when you know where is your product going to move, in an elevator, in a car, where it's going to be. Well, Steve Jobs just did you know the podcast is named after the iPod.
Right.
This is a fact, but the new generation don't know that. Steve Jobs, when he designed the podcast, he said, "Okay, sorry, the iPod. He designed it. He wants to find a reason why we have the small pocket in the jeans. Why we have small pocket? Let's make an invention for this pocket in the jeans." And it was very because 60 or 70 years ago, when the jeans first came up, or almost 100 years, there was a function for that pocket, but people forgot. I will tell
Absolutely.
you, I will tell you a nice story.
Please.
Okay, and this story is controversial. It's not 100% accurate because none of us was alive over 700 years ago, but it's a nice story to tell. Okay,
Please.
long ago, when they were making the expansions of countries and stuff like that, uh, during Al Hajjaj period in Iraq, they had to give all the food to the soldiers. So there was a problem with the food ecosystem. So a guy invented a shop. It's called Mia, and I think it was Mia Fils. The current the currency like it was fils and then dinar. So fils is like
Mm-hmm.
pennies. Okay, so it's like 100 pennies. Put 100 pennies, and you can eat all you can. It's like a buffet or something. So they started doing it with many different stuff. So what had a huge success and a huge impact was called Zahrat al Ful. It means the flower of fool. Okay, so uh, this was called Da'miya, and it was moved into the northern regions of that country and the Levant, what is called now. Okay, and then they made it with full, and then they made it with hummus, and then it went to Egypt. Okay, we know it today as Ta'miya.
Yes.
Ta'miya. People call it falafel, but in Arabic we call it Ta'miya. It was originally Ba'miya.
Wow.
Okay, people don't know the origins of the stories. If you look back into history, you will find several things that would inspire you. Okay, how this delicacy survived from that time until today. Okay, I will tell you another funny story.
Please, please.
Okay, now there is a word in Arabic. It's called sida.
Right.
Okay, sida doesn't have any origin in our language. So I went looking in the books, and I found a guy from the UK. He came to Saudi Arabia and he wrote about his experience. And he said that he created a new word in Arabic. It's called sida. Okay, so the story is that he came to Saudi Arabia long ago, in the 30s, and then he's trying to communicate with the driver. So he told him there was the huge water building or a huge tower or something. So he told him, "See that?" So the guy, the driver, thought that what he meant is go straight. So see that became Sida in our language, and from long ago until today, everybody knows Sida from just one driver. Imagine the impact of one person on our societies, on the whole region. One word.
Huge, and it's the word to go straight in all the Gulf countries. And actually, by the way, because of a lot of people that came and they came back to their countries, like Levant and North Africa. So even
Yeah.
now, if they want to say go straight, they will tell him go see that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
which is like actually one thing I want to add also, Muhammad. What I figured out, there's a lot of words that if you in English, for example, if you think about the origin and how it was done, it was like originally from Arab origins, I would say.
Yeah.
And the way, even like sometimes, because in Arabic, people for people who listen or watch us like from other parts of the world, so in Arabic we have something that's called like composite words. So like it's one word, but it's actually two words. We consider it as one. And when you know take the pronunciation and you put it in English or Latin or any other language, it becomes completely other word, but it has the same meaning. I can't like, remember exactly one now, but there's plenty of examples like this. And but you know what you are doing now, Muhammad, actually, and I can understand this. So you are showing us the power of storytelling. And coming back to Steve Jobs, in my opinion, he's the master of storytelling. Because if you think, and the famous keynote speech when he introduced the iPhone, and the way, if I was, okay, I was like, this is how many years ago? 20 years back, maybe less. So I never thought like I have challenges in my in the keyboard of my phone. It never came to my mind. I thought like this is the best in breed technology. The
Yes.
way he started to, show it to
Guide.
us
Yeah.
how ugly it is, all of a sudden, every single one of us said, "Oh my God," like we were like dumped all these years and we were
Yeah.
like pressing.
Yeah.
Now the other day I was like joking with one of my friends. I said, "Do you remember when you used to send SMS using your old Nokia phone? Like you need to
Yeah.
press 3 times to get the letter."
Yeah.
So, but I think the way but if he came and said, "Hey, we invented a technology called multi-touch," before he
showed the problem and
before
guided
he showed
people.
the problem, I think we would not accept it, maybe. But I think he emphasized and he framed, yeah, like the word I was looking for. He framed the problem in a way. I think he was master in this. That, oh my God, like how come I'm living with this problem? I need to buy this technology sooner or later. So do you, I think, Muhammad, we need to teach, like the young entrepreneurs the storytelling in a much better way, you think? Or like, is it a skill? Like how we can become better
It
storytellers?
it is a skill. It is a skill. I learned it when I was writing a novel for, I wanted to repay the favor, as you would say, that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and the author of the Time Machine also gave me, because that's the first books I read as a dyslexic person. I wanted to read them, and the story made me want to finish the book and finish the story. So I wanted to write a continuation of that story, and to write, my own addition to the, Sherlock Holmes franchise. It took me uh, 7 years. It took me
Oh,
7 years to learn how can I make a story that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle estate would approve, the use of character, uh, the continuation of the story, fixing a problem that I thought that Sherlock Holmes was still single, and he should get married, and I wouldn't want to burn the story, but I called it Sherlock Holmes in 2012, and it was like a trilogy, and I had a lot of spelling mistakes, and I left it in the book. It's printed with spelling mistakes to show people how people with dyslexia write, and how people would read it, and the difficulty they would have reading the book and the novel, and the mistakes that we have, so they would see how much difficulty we have in reading, as because I'm writing it in my way. I'm reading it already in the correct way, but I'm looking at it as a dyslexic. So I think it's correct. So I am giving it to people how the way I wrote it. So it's like a double layered message. It's like I'm giving back to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle for the nice stories that he gave us and the nice characters, and also letting people know what kind of difficulty we have as dyslexics.
amazing, fantastic. Muhammad, like the conversation can continue and continue probably for hours, but if I want, from you, like some word of wisdom, let's say, for the fellow entrepreneurs, especially in our region, because I'm a big believer that we, between what happened in Saudi Arabia, in the UAE, even in Egypt, in other countries in the past few years, from the nice startups we start to see and the nice things that are happening all around, because I'm a big believer now, we became like one of the main startup hubs in the world. Like, and I'm not saying this as part of marketing messaging, because I'm living it every day in the streets, right? And I meet people right, left, and center. But if you
And
want
we're
to,
benefiting from the apps every day. We're using the apps, the startups, we're benefiting from it every day.
100%. So if you want to give them like your final piece of advice, what it
See,
would be?
I would like to say, don't do anything for money. Do it for the passion. Do it to fix a problem. Do it to help somebody who really needs it. Do your research well. Never give up. Never be ashamed of your ideas. Work before you talk, and do the research before you talk to anybody. Work on it yourself until you feel it's ready to present. Then go find your team. The team is very important, but the most important thing is that you never give up. This is the best piece of advice. Never give up, move forward. If you fall down, you will step back again. When we were kids, if we stopped learning how to walk, nobody would have walked. So keep learning, keep moving forward. And thank you all for listening to us. I hope that today the spark inside every one of us is brightened a bit more.
Absolutely, Muhammad. Where people can follow you? Where are you most active?
Well, actually, I'm active on Instagram, on YouTube, and they can also find me. I have MBI, Mohammad Bahareth Institute. They can find of some of my seminars over there, and everything is on my website, mohammadbahareth.com. And they're welcome to speak with me on any platform they like. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on everywhere.
That's amazing, fantastic. I will make sure I leave, the social links and the website on the show notes. I really enjoyed, this is, I would say, one in a lifetime episode, honestly speaking, with you, Muhammad,
Thank you
because
so much.
the way, the first authenticity, your authenticity, second, your stories and your passion to share with, with the society and with the fellow young generation is really inspired me also as well. So thank you very much for being with me here today. I really
Thank you.
appreciate your time. And usually, this is how I end my episodes. So this is for the audience. You want to
So
say something?
let's do something for geeks. Live long and prosper, guys.
So, if you just discovered this episode by luck, I hope you discovered it. So please, subscribe and share it. I'm trying my best to make a small impact by bringing thought leaders and experts like Muhammad and other people here in the region and globally to educate and leave kind of a legacy. This is my hope. So if you find this podcast useful, please share it with your friends and colleagues and anyone who can benefit. And if you are one of the people who keep coming back to me and write me their comments and feedback, please keep doing so. Please tell me also what you don't like, because I like to enhance things all the time. So I appreciate if you can tell me about this. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and we will meet again very soon. Thank you.
Guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button. Share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs. And leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.